Time for presentation is over, so we'll start the debate now. Are you ready, guys? All right. All right. Welcome to final round on debating championship on DISPORSENI Nasional Universitas Terbuka 2025. In the opening bench, we have SMIN 1 Palangkaraya and SMK 1 Bosch 1. And closing bench, we have SMK Karmel and SMN 1 Purwokerto. Okay, I think the debater is ready too. So we will start with opening government from SMN 1 Palangkaraya, and the first speaker is Jesa Yunita. The time is yours. Here.
Start my speech in 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I would like to mention that in Indonesia, especially during Independence Day that we are currently doing, the place of patriotism is highly visible to us now because with all the flags that people are putting up and the parades and the social media hashtags like 17 August and such as red, white attire, of course, with brand campaign and giving patriotic messages. These ads may appear nationalistic with nationalism, but many are motivated by the fact that they need social approval or personal gain rather than the genuine commitment to the country. So we define performative patriotism as public displays of nationalism that's mostly done for show, such as marketing campaign, as I said before, and political attention-seeking social media posts without any real intent to be focused on Indonesia's development or progress. So by genuine patriotism, we mean that actions are driven by actual nationalism to the country's, to the nation's welfare. So we would like to focus the debate that on mainstream and large-scale displays in Indonesia. So we would like to particularly tie those things to public events, political figures, and the viral social media trends that are happening right now. So we would like to clarify that we are not debating about the small or private act of nationalism or showing off for a country, like helping your community or your neighborhood, or working for the nation without wanting any media coverage. So we would like for the opposition, we would like to place the burden on the opposition that they must prove to us that the main and most visible and genuine patriotism in Indonesia today is still genuine, not just what some people but in the majority of what we see in public, politics, and the media. So they need to show that this genuine patriotism is strong enough to to outweigh the harm caused by performative acts like false nationalism, of course. So I would like to begin my argument by saying that we believe that patriotism, when it's mostly done for show, and the money and time they go to the flags, parades, and cafes, ways for them. So people join these trends online, but they don't do actual benefit for the country. So this makes everyone just feel okay for a moment, but nothing actually changes. So we would like to talk about that it turns the love for the country into something of a performance. That patriotism should be about values and justice and equality, but not just about appearances. So when it becomes performative patriotism, the meaning of patriotism it changes from something within love for our country, from a commitment to our country. It changes the nations into being a tool for personal image or personal profit, personal gain. So people start believing that being seen as patriotic is more important than actually helping the country. So this slowly loses touch with the citizens. So the citizens now doubt each other's sincerity, and the bond between them will slowly uh, slowly become shallow. So we believe that it has the impact on the people. We believe that citizens will now get used to just putting up their flags at their homes, or just waving a flag feels enough for them. But this discourages them from actually taking harder, more meaningful actions like volunteering, voting responsibly, voting responsibly, and holding the leaders and the politicians accountable for their actions. So over time, people will lose the habits of actually using their civilian rights responsibly. So we believe that it actually has an impact on the country as well, where uh, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me. Uh, we believe that the country cannot grow if patriotism is all show and no work. So the problems stay, and the politicians and the leaders they can hide their failures by just looking patriotic in public. So our closing line is that patriotism is about real work for the nation, not just good photos or hashtags. So when I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. So if it's only for show, then people and the country they both lose. I believe that's all for me. Thank you.
All right, thanks for the speech. The time is 5 minutes, 54 seconds. And for the next, we move to opening opposition. We have SMK Bahasa 2, and the first speaker is Muhammad Barak. The time is yours. Here.
Am I audible? Sorry.
Yes, you are.
So I'm from the opening opposition, and I'm going to explain why we disagree with this motion. This House believes that patriotism in Indonesia has become more performative than genuine. So for our introduction, while some claim that Indonesian patriotism is now just for the show, we strongly disagree. True patriotism in Indonesia is alive, deep, and meaningful. Rooted in sacrifice, cultural pride, national unity, the proposition argument ignores the millions who quietly serve this country without seeking the attention. Today, we prove that Indonesian patriotism is not performative, but instead a powerful force that strengthens our nation. So my first point is patriotism in Indonesia goes beyond social media. It's an action. So our argument is the proposition claims that patriotism is just performative or for the show, but real Indonesian patriotism is seen in daily acts of service, sacrifice, and national pride, not just viral posts. So the effects on Indonesia is the first one is millions serve without recognition. Soldiers, doctors, teachers, and farmers work hard every day for Indonesia without posting about it. Example like TNI or our military soldiers guarding remote borders or disaster volunteers in Palu or Lombok don't seek fame. They serve because they love Indonesia. The second effect is cultural and traditional patriotism runs deep. Even events like 17 Agustusan, Independence Day, aren't just performative. They strengthen national unity. So example like Gotong Royong or community cooperation in villages shows real patriotism, not just empty flag waving. The third effect is youth patriotism is growing stronger. Young Indonesians today study history, defend Pancasila, and innovate for the nation, not just post hashtags. Example like Indonesian students winning international science competition, bring pride to the country without needing social media hype. So why does this matter for Indonesians? If patriotism were just performative, Indonesia wouldn't have survived crises like Reformasi 1998, 1998 or the COVID-19 pandemic. So real patriotism keeps Indonesia united against threats like radicalism and corruption. The second point is performative patriotism is a minority. Most Indonesians have sincere love for the nations. Our argument is the proposition focuses on small group of people who use patriotism for clout, but they don't represent most Indonesians. Expansions or effects to our country is the first one is social media doesn't reflect reality. Just because some influencers post merdeka for likes doesn't mean real patriots don't exist. So example, a celebrity posting the red and white flag on Instagram doesn't cancel out the real sacrifices of Indonesian health workers during COVID. The second fact is patriotism is in Indonesians' DNA. From Sumpah Pemuda 1928 to now, Indonesians have always fought for unity. The third, the government and institutions uphold real patriotism. School teaches Pancasila, universities research national development, and the military defense sovereignty. For example, Bela Negara programs train civilians to protect Indonesia. So what would they do this if patriotism was fake? So why does this matter for Indonesia? So believing patriotism is just for the show weakens national morale. And the final is true patriotism drives progress, like Indonesian engineers building homegrown tech, or we call it telkom, instead of relying on foreign to help. So I'm going to ask for the government side. So are you dismissing the majority that's doing for their country, but not the social media exposure? That's it from me. Thank you.
All right, thanks for the speech. The time is 3 minutes 59 seconds. And for the next, we move again to opening government. SMN 1 Palangkaraya. The second speaker is Alan Roy Perwira. The time is yours. You're here. Hello, Alan. Can you start your speech, please?
I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. So, as the Prime Minister from opening opposition side that the patriotism seen in daily act of service like doctor, teacher, and family work hard. Yes, it might be true, but some people really serve the country without wanting anything back. But that's not what most of people see today. The patriotism that most visible now is further ads and social media posts. So when the Prime Minister from the opening opposition mentioned that we broke the minority because of the social media is wrong because in fact that the social media and the ads is more wide than just being the minority. And the quiet action that you mentioned are often hidden, so they don't do anything to how the public thinks about loving the country. What is loud and everywhere is patriotism for show, and that is why it has more influence on people today. As my prime minister mentioned it, that when patriotism is just for show, money and time go to flags, parades, clothes, and ads, which means that they search for the opportunity to search money and attention. We, as the government team, believe that Indonesians have not dedication to what they so-called patriotism. They don't seem to take a real action, like didn't buy our local product. They act like they show the patriotism, but in fact, they didn't use our local product. And why they do patriotism if we just do for show, like the prime minister from our team said that they want the money, attention, and ads from the social media or the show itself. That's why we, as the opening government team, believe that patriotism in Indonesia has become performative than genuine. It become hollow. And that's all for me. Thank you.
All right, thanks for the speech. The time is 2 minutes 32 seconds. And for the next, we move again to opening opposition. SMK Bahasa 2. The second speaker is Kaisa Putri Augustian. The time is yours. Here.
Okay, thank you. Once again, I would like to kindly ask the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister, are you dismissing the majority that's doing this, their own way of patriotism for their own country, just because they don't show it in the social media? Are you dismissing them? Because I do not hear your answer. I hear that you say that, oh, perhaps the minority might be the one performing it, but they are the loudest. While I agree to an extent that yes, most of the performative nation patriotism has been. I'm sorry. I agree that performative patriotism is very apparent in social media, but once again, I will emphasize that it is dangerous for the country, for the people of this country, to believe that everyone will only perform patriotism instead of actually doing it just because the one performing it is the loudest. That is very dangerous. Why? Because we are dismissing those who doesn't do it for the attention. Now, I agree with your concern about, oh, the public will believe the ones that they mostly see, and that is the ones in social media, and they are the ones performing it. I see your concern and I agree, but that is still not entirely strong because there are many famous people, many famous brands that actually support Indonesia and not simply performing it. I also see your concern with public figures influencing people into voting irresponsibly and becoming reckless. And once again, I would like to agree, but again, people are smart. The ones that can vote are adult, and they can discern where which decision is good or bad for themselves. And again, I would like to highlight my partner's words that saying every patriotism is performative because it is the most visible in media is dangerous because they're okay, sure.
I would like to hear to that the fact that you said that people are smart. The ones who vote are not. But if people are really that smart, then why do we still see so many voting based on images or and popularity, not on policies or actual track record?
I'm sorry.
Sorry?
I'm sorry.
You mentioned earlier that people are smart and the ones who vote are adult and they have a clear mindset. So if people are actually really that smart, then why do we still see so many votings based on image and popularity, not on policies or the real track record?
Thank you. I would like to answer because the real problem lies within the system itself. There has been raised concern that the politics have been manipulating the results of the votes. So the actual result might be different than the ones that are shown in public. That is my answer to the PLI, and I would like to continue my stance is that it is dangerous to say every act of patriotism is performative because it is on social media, while so many people who post their patriotism act in social media also do it for a great cause. For example, there's this very famous account on TikTok. They post videos about themselves cleaning rivers and such, and they need social media exposure to give them funds. So I think while yes, a lot of famous people do that for performance, but a lot of other people also post online for helping the country itself. So once again, I would like to emphasize that it is dangerous because it is ignoring and dismissing the sacrifice that is done without publicity and those that are done with publicity but with good intent. And visibility doesn't equal performative because, again, some people make it visible so that they could help even more and they are sincere with their act. And I would like to emphasize again with the historical loyalty with Sumpah Pemuda. We literally wouldn't have our independence without our our young people like uniting and fighting for it. Okay, and that is why we believe that we don't believe that patriotism in Indonesia has become more performative than genuine because many people perform it online so that they could help even more, so that they can have money to help even more. Thank you.
All right, thanks for the speech. The time is 6 minutes to second. And for the next, it's time to closing bench. We have SMK Carmel as the closing government, and the first speaker is Serena Yulita. The time is yours. Here.
Am I clear my voice?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I will start my debate in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to our honorable adjudicators, and good morning to our fellow friends. My name is Charana, and I'm from Vocational High School Carmel. And I'm strongly support this motion about this house. Believe that prioritism in Indonesia has become more performative than genuine. Me as a member government, my role is to extend the OG case with a deeper analysis and new supporting arguments. Prioritism in Indonesia today often behaves like a seasonal trend. It spikes during certain moments and then disappears. This is clear indicator that is more performative than genuine. When the Independence Day, flags were flags everywhere, mass ceremonies, social media posts filled with red and white, and people post photos in the internet like Instagram, TikTok, or whatever it is, and not because they actively contribute to the nation, but because they want likes, shares, and comments. Government campaigns emphasize hashtags and slogans rather than measurable long-term programs. So while it's performative, if Pride, patriotism only appears when it is socially expected or trending. It suggests the motivation is about fitting in with a crowd or gaining approval, rather than an authentic, consistent commitment to the country. Genuine patriotism should be continuous and reflected in everyday behavior, not just in a moment of national hype. Like patriotism built on trends will not sustain during unpopular crisis. Citizens participate on a symbolic level but avoid deeper solution oriented engagement. The country appears deeply patriotic, but in reality, it's just surface level enthusiasm. And the dangers is this performative patriotism. It has dangerous consequences, like leaders focus on symbolic gestures to gain public approval instead of fixing in systemic issues. Citizens feel they've done their part by joining ceremonies or posting patriotic content, so they avoid deeper civic engagement. And people start labeling others as less patriotic based on appearances, not actual contributions, leading to social divisions. A national built on performance, not sincerity, will be fragile when faced with a real crisis. We are not saying patriotism in Indonesia is dead. We are saying it has been diluted. It has become a performance for the camera, the crowd, or the ceremony, rather than a heartfelt, sustained commitment to national betterment. Betterment. And for these reasons, we, the government bench, stand firmly in support of this motion. That's all for me. Thank you.
All right, thanks for the speech. The time is 3 minutes 20 seconds. And for the next, we move to closing opposition. We have SMN 1 Purwokerto, and the first speaker is Purneka Dahayu Citra. The time is yours. Here.
Good morning, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. I will start debate in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, honorable judges and all fellow debaters. I'm Veronica Nusrakasandi as the member of the opposition, and I proudly reject this motion. Because, ladies and gentlemen, before we debate, we must ask what does performative patriotism means in this motion. The government side want to tell you that our patriotism is now mostly like show off, like passing flags or joining ceremonies without truly loving the country. But the real problem is this motion assumes that performative and genuine patriotism are opposite, and that our rise of performative patriotism makes the genuine one disappear. That assumption is not only wrong, it ignores the fact that expression of patriotism, even when they look performative, still hold social value, ladies and gentlemen. So I will tell a little about why this debate is urgent. Because if we accept government's idea, we will undermine public expression of national pride. In Indonesia, where unity is fragile, public performance of patriotism plays a role in creating shared identity and stability. If we start labeling most acts as fake, we risk making people afraid to express pride at all, and that harms national cohesion. So we will contribute two things. First, we explain why performative patriotism is not a threat to genuine patriotism, but a gateway to it, and especially in like coll- sorry collectivist cultures like Indonesia. And second, we will show how performative patriotism function as a political and social tool to maintain national unity, even when motivation are mixed. So we're better here because we don't just defend patriotism as still genuine, but we will defend the blend of performative and genuine acts as necessary and mutual reinforcing. So, and the government side says that this performative patriotism is only going to be a tool for personal profit, and there are many valuable actions than doing this right. So, first, even if some people get personal profit, the actions can still give value to the country. As we can imagine, like a singer may get more followers after singing the national anthem, but the audience still feels united. So the benefit to the nation is not erased just because the person also benefits. Second, we agree other action can be valuable, but performative patriotism does not stop people from doing them. In fact, public acts can push more people to join bigger action later, just because they feel proud first and then they feel connected. And third, if you remove performative acts, you will an easy and low cost way to remind millions of people about unity. Not because not everyone can join war, donate money, or even make a big project, right? So, but almost everyone, because of this, almost everyone can join a performance that wide risk, which is the real value here. And I will start to my arguments. My first argument is performative patriotism as an entry point to genuine patriotism. Because in Indonesia, we know public displays of patriotism creates a first step towards deeper national loyalty. Because humans are social creatures. Repeated a simple act like rising, singing national anthem, and then posting patriotic content, it creates familiarity and emotional connection over time, and these acts become part of personal identity. We can we can imagine and we can imagine like study student in social psychology show that ritualized collective action even when initially insincere and insincere group loyalty through emotional conditioning in Indonesia, like 17-belasan celebration often start as routine but eventually spark volunteering and community project. So this shows that what the government calls performative can be actually genuine in the making, meaning the harm narrative is overstated. So my second argument is performative patriotism as a unifying signal in a diverse society. We know in a country as diverse as Indonesia, performative acts serve as a unifying signal, regardless of sincerity. So we know Indonesia have a lot of ethnic group, religious differences, and historical separatist tension. Shared public ritual act a, as a visible declaration of common identity. So even if some people join just for appearance, the signal to others still we are one nation. So we can remember like on the major sports event, like maybe Asian Games, there are public flag waving, anthem singing, and hashtag campaigns were performative. Yet they boosted national morale and solidarity across province. So if we regret the rise, we will weaken one of the few visible tools that binds our nation together. And my third argument is performative patriotism and genuine patriotism are not mutually exclusive because the rise of performative act doesn't kill genuine patriotism, it amplifies it. We know people may start for social approval, but social pressure to like look patriotic can evolve into personal belief. In sociology, this is called the role of internationalism. Patriotism during natural disaster in Indonesia often start with social media trends like posting donation proof, but later leads to sustained civic engagement. This means the government's binary thinking, performative versus genuine, is fundamentally flawed. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you why patriotism is not a binary between pure sincerity and total performance. It is a spectrum, public display, like ceremonies, Independence Day event, military parades, are legitimate and can express genuine love for the country. It in many cultures, including Indonesia, patriotism is expressed commonly and symbolically. Just because it is visible or rituals doesn't mean it is insincere. The strategic angle can is burden of proof is heavier on proportion. Like they must show majority of patriotism today is hollow. If they only show some performative see it's insufficient. And you will show that public patriotism in Indonesia strength genuine national
All right, I'm sorry,
and
the
civic
time is
responsibility.
over.
Thank you.
Okay, the time is 7 minutes 27 seconds. For the next, we move again to closing government. As I'm Kak Carmel, and the second speaker is Fernando Nugroho. The time is yours. Here.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, respected educators. I as closing government and member of government. So first, I want to review what CEO said before. True unity is tested in crisis, not in ceremonies. Okay, so that's my short review. So I want to make this clear. First, patriotism in its real form is not about displaying loyalty. It's about living loyalty through consistent sacrifice, contribution, and responsibility. What we see in much of Indonesia today is not this genuine form, but a stage act, a show of loyalty for public consumption. This shift is not harmless. It is actively eroding our values, weakening our democracy, and diluting the next generation's sense of duty. OG has shown you the patterns of performative acts. I will give you three deeper reasons why this shift is dangerous and why the opposition's demands of symbolism and identity fails. So the first extension is the transformation of patriotism into personal branding. Genuine patriotism costs you something: your time, your resource, your comfort, and sometimes even your safety. Performative patriotism earns you something like followers, likes, political point, and public approval. We now have public figures and even officials who show patriotism only when cameras are present, wearing traditional attire for Independence Day without any follow-up action to help the community, using and using national slogans in advertisement, but outsourcing production abroad, posting patriotic message on social media while avoiding the hard work of solving real national issues. And why is this dangerous? It flips the incentive structure. Patriotism becomes a tool for self-promotion, not national contribution. The act is done to be seen, not to serve. And once patriotism is used as a marketing tool, it stops being about the country at all. And the second extension is performative patriotism is a shield for the powerful and a muzzle for the people. In a healthy democracy, real patriots speaks up when the country is wrong. They challenge corruption, inefficiency, and injustice because they want the nation to improve. But in a performative culture, loyalty is defined by never breaking the image. Anyone who criticizes policy or leadership risks being branded anti-national or unpatriotic, regardless of whether their criticism is valid. This is not unity. This is enforced silence. The impact is, first, corruption thrives because it hides behind patriotic slogans. Second, incompetent leaders avoid accountability by wrapping themselves in the flag. The third one is citizens lost their right, their habit, and to question power. When patriotic is used to protect wrongdoing, it stops serving the nation and starts serving the powerful extension. Okay. And next one, I have the third extension. So it was generational erosion of values. The next generation learns patriotism by watching us. When they see that patriotism means wearing red and white on August 17th, posting their Dirgahayu Indonesia on Instagram, and then going back to daily life without real contribution, they will think that is enough. So the impact with this ascension is over time, the word patriotism will mean nothing more than a performance. The skill, courage, and habit of making sacrifice for the country will disappear. When a real crisis comes, whether economic collapse, natural disaster, or foreign threat, we will have a population that thinks a hashtag is a contribution. This is not a harmless shift. This is a dismantling of our national resilience. Also, I have another rebuttals for OO. So the first is OO says symbolism inspire unity. Unity built on hollow acts collapsed at the first test. Real unity is forged through working together on hard problems, not choreographed performance. And the CO say it keeps national identity alive. An identity that is only worn but not lived is a costume. Costumes are temporary. You take them off, and when it's no longer convenient, that's exactly what happens when performative patriotism is tested by hardship. So the closing impact is performative patriotism is like building a fortress out of paper. From the outside, it looks beautiful. The flags are flying. The colors are bright, but moment a real storm comes, it collapses instantly. And by then, it is too late to rebuild genuine loyalty and courage and commitment. If we accept performative act as a good enough, we are not preserving patriotism. We are replacing it with its hollow shadow. That is why, as the closing government, we do not just agree with this motion. We see as a warning. Patriotism in Indonesia has become more performative than genuine, and that is a danger we must expose. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
All right, thanks for the speech. The time is 5 minutes 47 seconds. And for the next, we move again to closing opposition, SMN 1 Purwokerto. The second speaker is Alifta Naila. The time is yours. You're here.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me? Okay. I'll be start by debate in 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, honorable judges, and all respected attendants. My name is Alif Tana Shanti. As a closing opposition whip, I'll explain why our bench deserves to win. Ladies and gentlemen, this debate is not about denying that performative patriotism exists. Of course, it does. The real question is whether the rise of the performative acts have completely replaced the genuine patriotism in Indonesia. We, as the closing opposition, have constantly shown you that this claim is exaggerated, selectively framed, and ignores the deep and sustained expression of genuine patriotism across Indonesian society. I will give the rebuttal for the government. United without substance is nothing. Would you call corruptor like a patriotic just because they sing Indonesian Raya every morning? Of course not. We brought you the missing piece, the consistent model where performative patriotism and genuine patriotism are not rivals, but mutually reinforcing. Performative acts spark awareness drive genuine action. For example, Merdeka Day from TikTok trends may look superficial, but they inspire people to learn history, join even, and donate. We are better because we don't stop at saying genuine patriotism still exists. We explain why it continues to thrive despite performatively can actually fit into sincerity. Patriotism in Indonesia is not more performative, but it's more visible. Like social media amplifies loudest acts, making genuine patriotism less visible, but but not less present. We showed that examples from disaster relief networks, national sport support, and then grassroots culture preservation, none of which rely on the viral trends. And now I want to talk about the patriotism. It's meant to be the performative, and that's not a flow, it's a future. It's a feature because the very point of the patriotism is to be seen and to be shared. Public acts like a flag salutes, Independence Day competition, even posting the Dirgahayu on Instagram, and are not empty like gesture, like they are social signal that reinforce the collective the identity. Like ritual performance like exists to create like a sustained meaning over the time without the performance patriotism risks becoming the invisible and forgotten. In Indonesia context where unity must be constantly renewed across the thousand of island and hundred of culture, like the performance element is the glue and that hold the nation together. Now I will revert my first speaker argument. The first one is denigrating the public patriotism risks eroding the traditions and that honored from the nation's founders and heroes. In Indonesian culture, showing respect publicly is a part of the moral duty. Censorship is a measure to the action, not just the private feelings. And the second one, public patriotism force like the responsibility, ceremonies, and even remind citizens of their obligation, especially about the young generation who may otherwise forget the national history. And about the calling patriotism more performative, this is really disrespectful the genuine patriots because from teachers who lead flag ceremonies to soldiers serving its remote area and demoralize the citizens. And I want to tell you something. If anything performative acts just to firework to nine patriotism, that's the fire that keeps burning long after the show ends. And the fire is alive and well. For all this reason, we are proud to be the opposition. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks for the speech. The time is 4 minutes, 1 seconds. All right, guys. Alif Naila is the last speaker in this final round. So, thanks to everyone, to all adjudicator, and that's all from me. And I think back to Ka Arif. The time is yours.
Thank you so much. Am I audible? Okay, great. First of all, we would love to congratulate everyone once again for making it to the final. You guys are awesome. And there are several announcements that will be delivered by Miss Widya as the representative from Universitas Terbuka. So to Miss Widya, the time is yours.
Okay, is it clear my voice? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you very much, Mas Arif, for the opportunity was given to me. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so what an amazing journey that has been over the past few days. So, start from 8th of August, yeah. Sorry, 6th August to this day, 9th of August. So we have seen so much passion, energy, and also brilliant ideas following in this English debate competitions, and you all have worked so hard. And then I would like to say congratulations to all the team who have made it to this stage. Yeah. So for these competitions, we now have our 4 finalist teams who have moved on the final round, and we get also best speaker, yeah. So we have announced 4 best speakers on this competition, taken from 32 participants from 16 teams, yeah, who qualified for the preliminary rounds. But all of this will be officially announced during the Dis Natalis main event on September 4 via Zoom. Is it clear? So please stay tuned, and we will share the Zoom link in the participants group, so don't miss it, ya. So maybe I will speak in Bahasa, ya, to make it clear. So for the participants, akan ada pengumuman secara official untuk pemenang lomba dari debat bahasa Inggris ini untuk SMA dan juga perguruan tinggi, dan akan diumumkan pada saat puncak Disnatalis 4 September 2025. Jadi teman-teman, so there is no announcement ya for today, judges? No? Oke, jadi teman-teman untuk hasil the result of this competition, English debate competition will be announced officially the next September 4, ya. Jadi di puncak Disnatalis 4 September 2025, dan akan kami share linknya di grup peserta, ya, seperti itu. Jadi teman-teman don't miss it, jangan ketinggalan, ya. So selain dari pengumuman di babak final ini, jadi ada juara 1, 2, 3, dan juga harapan. There will be also the 4 keynote speaker, the 4 best speaker, ya. Ada 4 best speaker yang akan diumumkan seperti itu. Tapi pada tanggal 4 September 2025 nanti. So is it clear? Is there any question? So we will share also the e-certificate directly to the all participants, ya. Jadi kita akan share directly e-sertifikatnya kepada partisipan, dan juga ada hadiah berupa uang tunai, ya, kepada partisipan seperti itu, ya. So behalf of the entire organizing committee, I would like to say a hug thank you to our honorable judges and also to the liaison officers. Thank you so much for your hard work and also dedication during this 10 days, yeah, starting from the 1st of August to this day, yeah. So, what else? To all the participants, also, I would like to say keep going, keep learning, and never stop speaking up. Okay, thank you very much once again, and see you at the final and this Natalis celebration.
Thank you so much, Ms. Vidya, for the information. So this is going to end officially our English debate competition. But before that, the last announcement, yeah? This is going to be quite tiring, I guess. Okay. Once again, we would love to congratulate everyone and we would love to say thank you to Sekolah Pasca Sarjana or Postgraduate School of Universitas Terbuka for hosting this year DISPORSENI SUT 2025. And also for all of the fellow adjudicators, we cannot thank you enough for your service in this competition. For all of the LOs, you all are awesome. And of course, for all of the participants, even though we have been torturing you for the last 4 days, some of you still able to smile widely today. So we see that as a success. To end this entire event, for every single one of you, since this is going to be the last one and you're all in senior high school, we would love it if you could consider Universitas Terbuka as a choice for you in the future because as you can see in Universitas Terbuka, we have so many things that I think would be beneficial for every single one of you. So, mari bergabung dengan UT. That would be our last message. And thank you so much. See you in the next competition. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, guys.
Thank
This was a roller
you.
coaster. Thank
Say
you.
cheers.
Sampai nangis.
Isa is crying.
It's so tiring, bro. Tiring as well.
It's time for a break, exactly.
Smile, please.
Guys, so cool.
Guys, you're all so cool. You're doing
Thank
great.
you. You guys too. You guys too.
Guys.
Keep fighting, keep fighting.
Love y'all.
Nice to see you all.
Yeah, nice to see you too.
Nice to meet you. Nice to know you
Nice to see you.
guys.
Thank you, everyone. I will close in the main hall. See you later. Good luck.